For the last 6 months, my best friend and I have been locked in a deathmatch for the promotion that would change either of our lives. Yesterday, I found the mistake that will guarantee I win, but exposing it will not only cost her the job, it might also cost her son his health. So, I have to ask, am I the asshole for what I'm about to do? Let me give you the whole picture. My name is Emily. I'm 35, and for the last 7 years, I've poured my soul into my job as a marketing director at a top tier firm in Chicago. I'm good at what I do. I'm not just saying that. I have the awards, the client testimonials, and the late night pizza fueled campaign stats to prove it. I live and breathe this stuff. The next logical step, the one I've been laser focused on for 2 years, is the Senior Vice President of Marketing position. It's not just a title bump, it's a corner office with a view of Lake Michigan, a salary that would let me finally buy a condo instead of renting, and a seat at the table where the real decisions are made. It's everything I've worked for. My competition for this dream job is Jessica. Jess is 36, and she's not just my colleague, she's my best friend. We started at the firm within a month of each other. We bonded over microwaved lunches and terrible first-round pitches. She was the one who talked me through a brutal breakup, and I was the one who held her hand when she went through a messy divorce. For years, we've been each other's work wives, navigating office politics and celebrating every win, big or small. We have a pact: whoever gets the promotion buys the other a ridiculously expensive bottle of champagne and takes them out for a weekend spa trip. No hard feelings. At least, that was the idea. Things got complicated about a year ago. Jess's son, 7-year-old Leo, was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disorder. It's been a nightmare for her. The treatments are experimental, expensive, and often not fully covered by her insurance. She's a single mom, and her ex is a deadbeat who contributes the bare minimum, so the financial burden falls squarely on her. The stress has been eating her alive. I've seen it firsthand. The vibrant, sharp-witted woman I know has been replaced by a frayed, exhausted version of herself who jumps every time her phone buzzes, fearing it's the school nurse or another specialist. The SVP promotion comes with a significant salary increase and a much better benefits package. For me, it's the culmination of my professional ambition. For Jess, it's a lifeline. She told me, over a tearful glass of cheap wine a few months ago, that the raise would be enough to cover all of Leo's medical bills and get him into a specialized treatment program out of state. It would mean she wouldn't have to choose between paying her rent and affording his medication. How do you compete with that? How do you look your friend in the eye and say, I know your kid is sick, but I still want to win? So, we've been competing. And it's been weird. The friendly rivalry has developed a tense undercurrent. We're still friends, we still grab coffee, but there's a new formality between us. We don't share campaign ideas as freely. We're more guarded. We're both putting in insane hours trying to one-up each other on every project. Our boss, Mr. Harrison, is old school. He's a show me, don't tell me kind of guy who values flawless execution above all else. He announced that his decision for the promotion would hinge almost entirely on our performance with our biggest client, Sterling Automotive. Sterling is our white whale. Landing their new electric vehicle launch campaign was a massive coup for the firm, and Harrison put both Jess and me on it as co-leads. It was his ultimate test, a high-stakes, high-pressure project where we would either sink or swim. The last 6 months have been a blur of strategy sessions, market analysis, and endless client calls. Both Jess and I have been running on fumes, but we knew this project was the final exam. I can't deny that I felt a pang of guilt. I'm single, no kids. My biggest stressor is my cat's vet bills. I can stay at the office until 10 p.m. without having to worry about a sick child. I can take weekend calls from the client without having to juggle hospital visits. Jess is drowning. She's been more scattered lately, more forgetful. A few weeks ago, she missed a minor deadline, and I covered for her, telling our team it was a server issue. She shot me a grateful look, but we never spoke about it. It was another crack in the foundation of our friendship, another unspoken truth hanging between us. That brings me to yesterday. The final component of the Sterling project was a budget allocation report. It's a massive spreadsheet detailing every dollar of the multi-million-dollar campaign, from social media ad buys to the cost of catering for the press launch. It's tedious, detail-oriented work, and Jess was responsible for finalizing it. She submitted it to the shared drive late Wednesday night, just before the deadline. Yesterday afternoon, I was working on my part of the final presentation deck and needed to pull some figures from her report. I opened the file and started cross-referencing the numbers. And then I saw it. A single, glaring error in a formula. A misplaced decimal point. It was a small mistake in the grand scheme of the spreadsheet's complexity, easy to miss if you were tired or distracted. But its impact was catastrophic. The formula was linked across multiple tabs, and this one tiny error had thrown off the entire budget projection. It had inflated our projected return on investment by nearly 20%. My blood ran cold. The number was a lie. A beautiful, impressive, client-pleasing lie. And it was a headline number, the one Mr. Harrison would be looking for, the one we'd be presenting to the Sterling executives next week. If they made financial decisions based on that projection and the actual ROI came in 20% lower, we wouldn't just lose the client. We'd be facing a potential lawsuit. Our firm's reputation would be in tatters. My first instinct was pure, unadulterated panic. My second was a cold, calculating thought that slithered into my brain, unbidden: this is it. This is how you win. All I had to do was nothing. I could just let the report sit there. Let it be submitted. Next week, when we're in the final review with Harrison before the client meeting, the error would inevitably be discovered. He's a hawk with numbers. He'd find it. And when he did, he'd ask who was responsible for the budget report. It would fall on Jess. It would be a fatal blow to her chances. An error of this magnitude, on our most important client, it wouldn't just cost her the promotion, it might cost her her job. And I, the diligent co-lead who presumably reviewed her work and would have, in this hypothetical scenario, been the one to catch it at the last minute or not at all, depending on how I played it, would look like the more competent, reliable candidate. The promotion would be mine. I felt a wave of nausea. Could I do that? Could I sit back and watch my friend's career implode, knowing her son's future was tied to it? I closed the file, my heart hammering against my ribs. I walked over to the coffee machine, my hands trembling. I thought about Leo. I'd been to his birthday parties. I'd helped Jess assemble his Lego sets on Christmas Eve. He was a sweet kid with a goofy grin who loved superheroes. The image of him, pale and tired in a hospital bed after a treatment, flashed in my mind. This promotion wasn't just a corner office for Jess, it was a chance for Leo to get better. But then, another thought, sharp and defensive, cut through the guilt. What about me? I'd worked just as hard. I hadn't made the mistake. I had sacrificed my personal life, my weekends, my sanity for this job. Did I deserve to lose out because my friend was going through a hard time? Was it my responsibility to save her from her own errors, especially when it meant sabotaging my own future? This wasn't just a mistake, it was a big one. It spoke to her being overwhelmed, to her not being able to handle the pressure of the SVP role. Wasn't it my professional duty to ensure our company presented accurate information to a client? I spent the rest of the day in a fog. I avoided Jess. I saw her across the office, looking pale and stressed, and I ducked into a conference room to avoid making eye contact. The guilt was a physical weight in my stomach. This morning, the situation escalated. I came into the office early, determined to talk to her, To I don't know what. Tell her I found it. Help her fix it before anyone noticed. I was rehearsing the conversation in my head when an email from Mr. Harrison pinged into my inbox. The subject line was Sterling Project Final Review. My heart stopped. The email was short and to the point. Emily, I need you to do a final, thorough review of the entire Sterling Project file, including Jessica's budget report. I want a second set of eyes on everything before we finalize the presentation. Please sign off on it by the end of the day. I trust your attention to detail. Regards, Charles Harrison. I read it 3 times. He was explicitly asking me to review her work. He was putting me in a position where I had to either lie or betray her. There was no more doing nothing. Now, I had to make an active choice. Option A, I review the document and say nothing. I sign off on it. This is a direct lie to my boss. If when the error is discovered later, I'll be complicit. My name will be on the sign-off. I won't just be the one who failed to catch it, I'll be the one who approved it. My career would be just as damaged as hers, if not more so. Harrison values integrity above all else. A lie of that magnitude would be unforgivable. Option B, I go to Harrison and tell him I found a critical error in Jess's report. This is the professional ethics route. It makes me look diligent and responsible. It secures the promotion. It also throws my best friend directly under the bus. It paints her as incompetent and sloppy at the most critical juncture. It would destroy her career at this firm, devastate her financially, and, by extension, impact Leo's care. Our friendship would be over. How could it not be? Option C, I go to Jess directly. I tell her I found the mistake and that we need to fix it now, before Harrison sees it. We could work together, correct the report, and re-upload it. The problem is the file history on the server shows every version. Harrison, or his tech-savvy assistant, could easily see that the file was altered after my review was requested. It would look like I found the error and helped her cover it up. It's colluding. It's dishonest. Harrison might see it as a lack of integrity from both of us, potentially costing us both the promotion and branding us as untrustworthy. It's a huge risk. And even if we get away with it, what then? I've saved her, but I've lost my own best chance at the promotion. I'm back to a level playing field, but I've had to compromise my own ethics to get there. I'm sitting at my desk right now, staring at his email. Jess is in a meeting. I have about 6 hours until the end of the day to make a decision. My stomach is in knots. Every time I think I've settled on a course of action, a wave of doubt washes over me. If I tell Harrison, I'm choosing my career over my friend. I'm prioritizing my ambition over a sick child's well-being. It feels cruel and ruthless. I imagine the look on her face when she finds out. I picture her having to tell Leo that they can't afford the special doctor. The thought makes me physically ill. But if I help her cover it up, I'm lying to my boss and risking my own professional reputation. I'm putting the firm at risk. And I'm sacrificing the promotion I've bled for, the one I feel I've earned through my own merit and hard work, not by making a critical mistake. Is it fair that my years of sacrifice should be negated by her personal circumstances? Am I supposed to set fire to my own dreams to keep hers from turning to ash? This isn't some abstract ethical problem from a business school textbook. This is my life. This is my friendship. And I feel like no matter what I do, I'm going to become a person I don't like. I'm either a ruthless corporate backstabber or a dishonest, self-sabotaging fool. The worst part is, I can see the argument for every single option. I can justify betraying her, and I can justify saving her. My brain is screaming at me to be logical, to protect myself and do what's right for the company. My heart is screaming at me to protect my friend, to show some compassion. I keep coming back to that pact we made, no hard feelings. It seems so naive now. How can there be no hard feelings when the stakes are this high? So, here I am. I have to choose. Do I expose the mistake and win the promotion I've worked my entire adult life for, knowing it will devastate my best friend and her son? Or do I risk it all to help her, potentially taking us both down in the process? What would you do? Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. We appreciate everyone and can't wait to bring more stories your way.